Could Roman Reigns have a big betrayal on his hands? We'll see what's going on about that. We'll also take a look at Sonya Deville's return, Bayley's Money in the Bank teaser, and more. Let's start things off with Bayley. It's another big premium live event coming up and another big return teaser from Bayley. Bayley took to her social media platforms this week to post a throwback picture of herself hugging the Money in the Bank briefcase in bed. The picture, of course, is not a recent one and was taken several years ago, but the message that Bayley was implying was pretty clear to everyone. She was clearly teasing the idea of the Money in the Bank return without saying a single word. Becky Lynch pulled off a similar teaser last year as well, where she took a picture outside of the venue and posted it with the caption talking about how she hopes none of the participants get taken out of the match at the last second. So Bayley is once again teasing the fans with her own big WWE return. The good thing about this whole situation is that Bayley has created this kid who cried wolf sort of narrative for when it comes to her return. She's been teasing her return since January's Royal Rumble, and nothing ever happens. It's to the point where some people buy into these teasers, but the real fans know that nothing is likely happening. And 6 months after the big teaser, it's getting to the point where Bayley can legitimately tweet out her actual return date, and no one will probably believe her. At this current point, there's only 2 spots left in the women's Money in the Bank match. Even if those 2 spots get taken, you never know if WWE pulls off the entire last-second substitution angle during the night of the event. So maybe there's a very slight chance to see Bayley, but at this point, it doesn't look like Bayley or WWE will give away her return on social media. They can definitely announce it beforehand. We've seen them do it plenty of times before, most recently with John Cena. But hopefully Bayley's return can be a similar one to Becky's in 2021. Just this unexpected, big, and spectacular surprise that doesn't leak out beforehand. So, will we see Bayley at Money in the Bank? It's doubtful, but it's WWE. You can never say never. So we'll have to wait and see on Bayley's return. Sonya Deville just made her return to WWE television this week on Smackdown. Last time we saw Sonya Deville, she was having a few exhibition matches on Raw against Alexa Bliss, in which she lost both of those matches. That feud with Alexa Bliss was supposed to continue for a little while on Raw, but Sonya went missing for a few weeks. Now Sonya has been written back onto WWE television on Smackdown. A lot of fans were confused and wondering why Sonya was returning on Smackdown when she was last seen on Raw. Well, even though their brand split is much looser nowadays, and superstars can really appear anywhere they want, Sonya Deville is technically a Smackdown superstar. It was her WWE authority role that granted her access to appear on Raw. But with that authority role being gone, it is interesting to wonder about how Sonya will be used going forward. Is she just a SmackDown superstar again, or will she appear on Raw from time to continue her feud with Adam Pearce backstage? We'll have to pay attention to the next few weeks of Raw and SmackDown to get that answer. But Sonya appeared on SmackDown to continue her usual banter with Adam Pearce, but he cut it off quick by putting her into a handicap match against Raquel and Lacey Evans. But Sonya was smart and brought out Xia Li and Shayna Baszler to take back control of the numbers advantage. Xia Li hasn't been up to much since she was called up to SmackDown, so it was definitely something for her to do. Shayna Baszler is technically supposed to be involved with the Natalya and Ronda Rousey feud, but she did say that she doesn't want to get involved in all that right now. And also, given the fact that Sonya used to use Shayna as an enforcer during her WWE official days, it does make sense that Shayna would still back her up. But a criticism that some fans had about this match is that a handicap is usually a scenario for a babyface to overcome the odds against 2 heels. So, some fans did think it was a bit strange to see 2 babyfaces all over the single heel competitor like that. Sort of made Sonya look like the babyface that had to overcome the odds. But at the same time, if you've been watching over the last year or so, then you know that Sonya Deville's character basically had this coming, and this is her karma catching up to her. So you can't really feel bad for the character, given all the things she did during her reign of terror as an official. So she's on this massive losing streak, she can never win a singles match. But that's just the karma that the character created for herself. You can't look at Adam Pearce as a bad guy because he's given her a taste of her own medicine. Sonya never booked Adam Pearce for a match, but she always tried to overrule him when it came to decision making. So he definitely has a score to settle with her as well. But where does Sonya Deville go from here? A lot of fans saw that trio there on Smackdown of Xia Li, Sonya, and Shayna and thought it would be a nice faction for Sonya to lead and run. It would be a nice direction to take Sonya Deville in and get her back on track. Sure, she can't be a WWE boss anymore, but what if she rallies some of her close friends up and becomes the boss of that group and leads them? It'll be a way for Sonya to not really get her WWE officiating powers back, but some sort of power back, to have something under her control again. So Sonya's usage and direction will be another great thing to keep an eye on for sure. We recently went over how Sami Zayn made a vow to not cash in on Roman Reigns if he was to win the Money in the Bank contract. Well, WWE legend JBL came up with a very interesting theory on how he believes that Sami Zayn would betray Roman Reigns if the opportunity was right. He had this to say during the Smackdown Lowdown, quote, "He, Zayn, can say, look, I was just gonna lay down for you, Roman Reigns. Do I think he's gonna do that? Absolutely not. I think he's gonna double cross him. It's like Buddy Rogers used to say, screw your friends, make your enemies your friends. That way, you can screw them too." That's what Sami Zayn would do here with Roman Reigns, I'm convinced of it. But if he doesn't win the Money in the Bank contract, he goes to the Bloodline and says, hey, I would have just laid down for you, which is 100% dishonest, but that's okay. That's why I like Sami Zayn. He's dishonest. End quote. So JBL brings up an interesting point. Everyone thinks Sami Zayn is being genuine right now with his desire to protect Roman Reigns and join the Bloodline. But what if Sami Zayn is secretly in it just for himself? Sami also had a slip-up on Smackdown where he said that he wouldn't cash in on Roman Reigns. He would cash in on Brock Lesnar, which of course implies that Sami Zayn believes that Brock Lesnar will defeat Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Is that really how he feels? Does he think Roman has no shot against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam? Sami Zayn may be a comedic relief character at times, but this story is very interesting right now and it has everyone wondering about what the big payoff will be. Will Sami betray the Bloodline or will they turn on him first? But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.